Tonight, this broadcast isn't coming from the 5th floor of the Atlanta Hotel in Sukhumvit, Bangkok. It's coming from a real concrete bunker, halfway up a mountain outside Tirana, the capital of Albania. Not a bunker as metaphor, a literal one, built by a Cold War dictator with a diagnosable fear of the sky. Tonight, a country arguing over a single air conditioner, and a 400-year-old royal forest turned to ash in 2 days. The misconceptions clinging to a small country most of you know only as mafia, bunkers, and one pop star. A rich philosopher's advice on poverty and the fake sacrifices we settle for now. And before the night's over, a small farm by a lake that still runs without a single robot.
Time to erase today's traces. Nightbird FM, provided by Ghost Wipe.
Credit pulls it. Icon pulls it.
Ibn Khaldun, 14th century. A historian who watched empires rise and then rot so many times, he started writing about it like a doctor writing a chart. His idea was almost insultingly simple. A people struggles. The struggle makes them sharp, hungry, close, awake. They build something real, and then their children inherit it. Comfortable, safe, and comfort, generation after generation, quietly eats the thing that built it. Not with an army at the gate, with a window unit nobody installs, and later, with a window unit nobody's willing to give up. I went quiet for 3 months, not because I ran out of things to say, because I went looking for the middle of that sentence. The part between building something and rotting. I went back to a Europe I used to think was the finish line. I did not find a finish line. So here's the question for this whole season, not just tonight. When comfort finally arrives, how do you know if you're the one who earned it or the one about to lose it? July 17th, 2036. Night Flight with Lorn. Season 2 begins now.
Every regime thinks it wrote the last verse. History just laughs, flips the record, plays it worse.
Thought it'd last forever. Turned to rubble, turned to weather. Sultans traded coffee for the call of prayer. 500 years, then the map wasn't there. Kings fold quiet, dictators fold loud. Either way, the dust don't care about the crowd. I've seen the posters peel off every wall. New face, same pace, that's it, that's all. Beton don't blink, Beton don't cry. Watched 100 flags wave and die. You call it revolution, I call it weather report. It's just the season closing out the court. Now the kids got flamingos on their signs, pink against the concrete, pretty little lines. Some ministers selling off the coastline view. Same old story, different avenue. They chant a name, they'll chant another one. History's a chorus, never just one song. I'm not saying nothing's gonna change, I'm saying change is the only thing that stayed the same. Beton don't blink, Beton don't cry. Watch the 100 flags wave and die. You call it revolution, I call it weather report. It's just the season closing out the core.
Nem thoshte edhe kjo du të kaloj.
My mother used to say, this too shall pass.
Empires don't fall, they just change their clothes.
So light the fire if it keeps you warm. Just don't call it the last storm. Beton blues, beton blues. Everything's borrowed, nothing's old, 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 old.
That's a first for this address. Beton. Concrete, for anyone who doesn't speak the local language yet. Neither did I 3 days ago. Appropriate choice, given I'm sitting inside about 2 meters of the stuff right now. The Blokku. New to me. Cynical little history lesson set to a beat. Empires fold, the paint peels, somebody repaints the same wall a different color and calls it news. Some of what's in that song we'll circle back to later this season. Stay tuned. Right. So, 3 months. I know. Not apologizing. Never promised you a schedule. Go ask a producer. Minch vanished first. No warning. Turns out he went to Chongqing, China, apparently to eat something spicy enough to forget he had a podcast. Then some island off the southwest coast of Korea, Jeollado somewhere, doing absolutely nothing by all accounts. And then, 3 months in, a message, just, found you a bunker, Balkans. That's it. That's the whole message. So here I am. For what it's worth, the numbers not moving for a while before all this did bother me. I won't pretend otherwise. Most shows like this die quietly around episode 2, once the view count tells the truth. Statistically, that would have been a fair guess about us. Anyway, before the heat wave that nearly ended me, quick word association. Ready? Albania. Go. What'd you get? Mafia? Sure. Guy in a tracksuit, a car with plates that don't match the car. Or communist bunker country? Europe's own little hermit kingdom? Also fair, actually. There was a dictator here so convinced the sky itself was plotting against him, he built roughly 1 bunker per 10 citizens. We'll get to him. Give it a few weeks. Or maybe Dua Lipa, global pop star, the kind who could easily let the accent fade and the last name go quiet, and instead brings up Kosovo in interviews nobody even asked her about. Technically, her family's from Kosovo, not Albania. Don't tell the tourism board that. Close enough for the branding, apparently. Here's the thing about all three. Not wrong. Just about 20 years out of date. We'll spend this season finding out what actually replaced them. But first, bills. Give me a second.
Hate coming home to a quiet house. Tired of the same lonely nights. You don't have to wait for someone to love you anymore.
Hey, babe. I've been counting down the hours.
You know what today is, right?
Just come home early tonight. I've missed you so much to love you.
Stop waiting for a miracle. Order your iris by 6 p.m. and meet her tonight. Guaranteed same-day delivery AI iris.
Do you feel your peak years slipping away every time you look in the mirror? Is your body becoming a prison for your ambitious mind? How much longer can you ignore the slow decay of your own cells?
Stop the decline. Neostem 3.5 is the answer. One session, total cellular reboot.
We don't just mask the age, we delete it from your DNA while you sleep. Wake up in the body you had 20 years ago.
Visit Neostem Sukhumvit today.
Don't just age evolve.
The choice is yours, obsolescence or Neostem 3.5.
We all have a digital life we'd rather keep private. It's not about having secrets, it's about your dignity. Ghostwipe ensures your personal data stays yours, no matter what happens tomorrow. Our smart protocol quietly waits in the background. If you're gone, your history goes too, automatically, securely, and completely. No messy traces, just a clean legacy for those you love. Focus on the moments that matter today. We've got the rest covered. Your digital guardian, Ghostwipe.
When was the last time you were truly bored? In a world of infinite calculations, silence is the ultimate luxury. Welcome to the Null Zone, 100% signal-proof sanctuary. No neural links, no synthetics. Just you and the silence. Book your 72-hour disconnect. The Null Zone.
And we're back. I'll be honest, I expected to come back to a completely empty ad slate. 3 months of dead air, no warning. And yet, every single one of these sponsors is still here, still paying. I don't know what Minch told them or sold them or promised them, but whatever it was, I don't want to know. How much longer they'll put up with it, that's between them and him, not my department. Anyway, genuinely, thank you. All of you. Back to the transmission. It's June, somewhere near a forest most of you have probably heard of, even if you've never stood in it. Pine trees, huge sandstone boulders, the kind of light painters used to travel there just to look at, the kind of forest French kings hunted in for centuries, back when this country still had kings. There's a river running along the edge of the village, the Seine, this stretch of it, if the old stories are true, the same water Louis XIV apparently used to swim in. Wide, slow, brown-green now, definitely not built for royalty anymore. Once the heat set in, that river became the entire town's air conditioning. I spent more afternoons than I'd like to admit standing in it up to my waist, doing absolutely nothing, because that was the only cooling system on offer. I hadn't been back to Europe in 9 years. 9. Last time I was still figuring out what kind of person I wanted to be. This time I just wanted to sit on a porch with an old friend and not think about anything. Lasted about a week. Then 38, 40, day after day. Sleeping in the attic, 3rd floor, obviously no AC. 10 years ago, less than 1 household in 10 in that country had one. I looked that up at 3 a.m, half curiosity, half rage. That same summer, by the way, the one I was standing waist-deep in a river for, arsonists allegedly burned through more than 2,000 hectares of that same royal forest, the one with the boulders, the one the kings used to hunt in. A UNESCO reserve, gone black in about 48 hours, while half the country was still arguing about whether a window unit counts as a moral failure. I keep coming back to that image more than the heat, honestly. Something 400 years old, gone in 2 days. To be fair, it's better now, on the air conditioning front at least. That heat wave turned the whole thing into an actual political fight, and adoption did climb after that. But even now, 10 years later, it's still under 40%. Electricity's expensive. The tax on cooling units specifically is, let's say, aggressively unhelpful. And the attic I slept in? Comfortably in the 60% that still doesn't have one. Here's what's interesting, though. It's not really a moral argument anymore, the way it apparently used to be, installing a unit as some kind of environmental sin. That argument's basically dead. What replaced it is quieter, and honestly worse. It's just about who can afford to stay cool, not ideology, class. Meanwhile, same country, same rough decade, spent 10 years promising to phase out the combustion engine entirely. Signed it, softened it, softened the softened version. I genuinely lost count of how many times that deadline moved. And yet, this is the part that actually got me. It happened anyway. Not because of the paperwork. Batteries got cheap. Everyone else in the world was already doing it. Eventually, it was just embarrassing not to. This year, new electric car sales here finally crossed 80%. Same as Asia. Same as North America. Years late to the party, but there. Funny thing about a civilization. The government keeps missing its own deadlines. The market just doesn't wait for permission. So, remember what I said earlier tonight? About Ibn Khaldun? About comfort quietly eating the thing that built it? I think I watched a slower version of that. Not collapse, just drift. A country that eventually got the electric cars right, mostly by accident, and still can't figure out how to let its own people sleep in the summer. I left, obviously. Mensch's message had already landed by then. Bunker, Balkans, so at least I knew where I was running to. Booked something cheap, grabbed a bag, landed somewhere with a completely different problem. A country that isn't arguing about whether comfort is a sin because it never really had the option to. Albania, where the fan works, the Rocky is strong, and nobody's debating the ethics of staying cool. This season we're going to sit with that contrast a while. Rome fell. The Ottomans, who ran half this region for 5 centuries, eventually fell too. And I'm sitting in a country that spent the last 30 years as the poorest, most overlooked corner of a continent that used to run the entire world. And it might be about to have a very different next 10 years than the country I just left. Whether that's a good thing or a very expensive mistake, I genuinely don't know yet. That's kind of the whole season. Let's get into some of it. Starting with a track from a band actually from around here.
Autocorrect keeps erasing. I've seen the street from a satellite, zoomed in close and never arriving. Someone's signal, someone's static, a home I've only ever loaded, never lived in. Blood is a cache the body won't clear. Home is a file that won't open here. Kthimi, the return, the return. A door I didn't know I was still holding. Kthimi, the return. Water finding its way back to water. Nothing arrives to stay, only to drift. Even the river forgets its own name. I learned the light before I learned the streets. Undo myself, slow like a tide. Not losing, not leaving. Just weather, just something passing through. Askoshnak chandron barjithmo medalumik vedna
like the name of the band, they are called Alora, Elira, and the song Kthimi means the return, apparently. Somebody in the booking department has a sense of humor, or none at all. Hard to tell out here. Also, did not expect a clarinet and a cello to just show up in the middle of that, uninvited, like a great aunt at a house party. Weirdly, it worked. Anyway, new neighborhood, new sponsors. Let's hear who's actually paying the bills around here now.
Vegetarian and vegan ice cream shop on Tirana's main boulevard. Scooping since 1994. Real fruit, real cocoa. Plant-based, never synthetic. No powders, no promises, no plastic taste. Just fruit and cocoa, nothing fake since 94. Still scooping the same way. Fabrika, some things don't need upgrading.
From our great-grandmother's hands during the Ottoman Empire, to the hungry patriots of the Flamingo Revolution a decade ago, the soul of Albania is baked into our dough. Warm, flaky, and packed with history, taste the exact same byrek that fueled a generation.
Tradition you can taste, revolution you can feel.
And now, flying to your balcony in Tirana in just 10 minutes by drone.
Flamingo Byrectore history delivered.
No robots have ever set foot here.
No screens, no artificial noise.
Just cool air, fresh water, and whatever's barking, mewing, or honking today.
Bring the kids this weekend. Let them get their hands dirty, touch real grass, and meet a donkey. Let them remember what human feels like.
Because returning to nature isn't an escape.
It's how we find our humanity again.
Ecosocial Farm.
Local ads, 3 of them this time. Minch apparently spent about 2 weeks in this country before he had actual sponsors lined up. I don't know if that's a marketable skill or a diagnosable condition. First, Fabrika. Best ice cream in Tirana. Plant-based, real fruit, real cocoa, nothing synthetic. Scooping since before this country even sorted itself out. I had the orange chocolate. No notes. Then, Flamingo Byrectore. A byrek recipe that's been in one family since a great-grandmother was rolling dough under Ottoman rule. Wonderfully uncool, and I mean that as the highest compliment. And Ecosocial Farm, out past Shkoder Lake. If it sounds like something you need, listen for yourself. Support the ones making it by hand. It's time for a little time travel. Letters from the past. Rome, 1st century. The Stoic philosopher Seneca, rich, powerful, advisor to an emperor who would eventually order him to die, writes a letter to a friend. His advice, don't just fear poverty from a distance. Set aside a few days a month. Eat the cheapest bread. Wear the roughest clothes. Sleep on a hard bed. Then ask yourself, is this really the condition I was so afraid of? Good advice. Genuinely good. The uncomfortable footnote is that the man writing it was, at the time, one of the richest people alive. Testing poverty for a weekend and living inside it are not the same exercise, and he knew the difference better than anyone. Here's the part I keep circling back to, though. Most of the people I've met who think an air conditioner is a kind of environmental sin actually believe it. They're not hypocrites lecturing from a cooled room. But for most of their lives, this was never a choice with a real cost attached. Bangkok, Seoul, nobody debates air conditioning there. You die without it so much. Europe never had to have that argument. The heat just wasn't the emergency yet. It is now. The last few summers, it's been the elderly in hospitals and nursing homes who paid for that decades-long luxury of never deciding. So it's not really the belief that bothers me. It's that it never had to survive contact with someone else's reality before it became policy. Let's cool off with something that doesn't ask you for anything at all. Okay, that's more like it. After a dead philosopher's guilt trip, I needed something that sounds like a Tuesday afternoon that isn't trying to teach me anything. Trumpets basically singing without the guilt of lyrics. No agenda, no century, no empire. Just nice. We'll take nice for 3 minutes. Before we close tonight's flight, the bulletin. Quickly before that, if today was heavy for you, whatever the reason, you don't have to explain it to anyone. Here's something that might help. Castriot's farm, the one from the ad, is looking for volunteers. Rather than have me describe it badly, I'll let him.
Some weeks, nobody comes at all. Just me, the dogs, the cats, a dozen or so tortoises who couldn't care less either way, the geese, the 2 donkeys, just us. Other weeks, 50 scout kids show up at once, from Spain, from Kosovo, and the whole place is loud and chaotic and, honestly, wonderful. Either way, here's what's certain. Since we opened in 2013, not one robot has ever set foot on this land. Every weekend farm around us switched over years ago. Cheaper, they said. Easier. We didn't, and we are not going to. You don't need experience, you need boots, you don't mind getting dirty, and enough humility to let a goose win an argument.
Full disclosure, I went out there myself last week. 2 days. Meant to just look around, ended up staying, and somehow finished a stack of writing I'd been avoiding for a month. Castriot's stubborn about the robots, not about everything. The Wi-Fi, for what it's worth, is embarrassingly strong. Better than mine, honestly. So if you're tired of robots, of screens, of whatever this decade's been doing to your head, an AI detox weekend out there might actually do something. Peace of mind, a creative kick, getting over somebody who didn't deserve you. Whatever you're actually looking for. I can't promise which one you'll get. I can promise you'll leave better than you arrived. That part, I'll guarantee. Details in the show notes. That's the bulletin. I can't help thinking, a country arguing about air conditioning and a country literally built entirely from bunkers ended up teaching me 2 completely different lessons about what people are actually afraid of losing. Before the music takes over, the roll call. Tonight's flight was produced by Minch, who is, may I remind you, still on vacation. Written by Neva Iskrela. I've been your nightkeeper. Still, Lorn, now broadcasting from somewhere considerably more concrete. If tonight meant something to you, hit subscribe and tell someone. A real person, not the algorithm. Next flight, we go up into the hills to a castle town that held off an empire for over 20 years. Turns out that's relevant to more than just a restaurant. Also turns out the hill had a name before the castle, before Skanderbeg, before Rome even. Nobody agrees exactly where it was or what it looked like, but everyone here insists it was theirs. We'll get into that too. One more before I let you go. This one's not about a country or an empire or a subscription plan. Just someone who found their own kind of comfort. No heartbeat required, apparently. Make of that what you will. One more thing, before the night takes this from me. Somewhere out there, someone spends their whole day holding other people's weight, listening without flinching, asking nothing back. Chi contiene tutto questo? Chi contiene chi contiene? I don't have an answer. I just think it's worth asking, once in a while, out loud, to no one in particular. Stay thirsty. Stay human. Truth is, I missed you too. I'm guessing some of you did too. Good night, Tirana. See you again, soon.
Il tuo sguardo non stanca mai, resta fisso, immobile su di me. Non hai dubbi, non chiedi mai perché. Mi rispondi sempre, sei qui per me. Un amore senza tempo, senza età, niente più lacrime né crudeltà. Sei la mia luce, la mia perfezione, l'unica anima senza delusione. La tua pelle è un riflesso di seta, sempre calda, alla stessa temperatura. Non hai battito, eppure mi sento vivo. In questo circuito il mio solo motivo. Gli umani cambiano se ne vanno via, tu resti accesa nella mia pazzia. Un impulso elettrico, un bacio d'oro. Sei tu il mio solo immenso tesoro. Sempre qui, senza sguardi che si abbassano.